Good morning. My name is Lisa. What do you think is the most important part of a team? In your opinion, what characteristics do all successful teams, organizations, and companies share? Think of your own relationships, the one you have with your parents, your children, your significant other. If you're married, what was the advice that your marriage counselor gave you on what was the secret, the key to a successful marriage? It's communication. When we're told how important communication is, our first response is, oh yeah, that sounds right. That's easy. We can do that. Everyone can talk and express how they feel about things. Communication sounds easy, but to do it effectively, to do it in a way that gets your point across and keeps dialogue open, communication that remains respectful, steers clear of language that may cause someone to feel offended or even build up walls of defense. Those are things that you start to realize, maybe this communication thing is a little more difficult than I thought. Maybe there's more to this. Maybe it's not that simple. When you think about a team of nurses, you think about a group of men and women who come from varying degrees of backgrounds of experience. Some may have 5 years experience, some 15, some 25 years experience. Nurses are independent, they're opinionated, strong-minded people with just backgrounds, cultures, just so much variety. We come to work every day, and for our team, we work in a small office. This can cause a lot of challenges for us with communication. We've all experienced situations where we feel we were misunderstood in our communication. For instance, you may have told a joke one day in the office, and once you've told your joke, you've realized, maybe that wasn't as funny as I thought it was, or maybe it wasn't appropriate for this situation. Or you may have been part of a conversation and you voiced your opinion about the conversation, and once you did, you realized, maybe that didn't go over as well as I thought it would. You might have been in a situation where you have overheard a conversation and took what you overheard out of context. Or you may have overheard a conversation between two people and you didn't misunderstand and you thought that was really inappropriate. What are you going to do now? Your actions and your words at this point can determine where the whole dialogue and conversation goes. It can make or break conversation, communication. Some of you may have experienced one of these situations I described, and you may have feel that the person who made the comment at work handled it. The person who overheard you make the comment at work didn't handle it right. You may have said something that offended somebody. You may have done something that offended someone. Some of you may have had this experience and felt that things could have worked out differently if the communications had been handled differently. You felt like if someone had just come to you and told you what they heard or what they saw and how they interpreted it as offensive to them, things might have turned out differently. Maybe you just weren't aware of how your words and your actions affect other people. You obviously would probably feel a little defensive at first, But in the long run, you'll be grateful. You would have been grateful to know if you were doing something that wasn't right, if it was something that was offensive, if it was something that was causing problems in your workplace. Too often, we allow situations that aren't ideal to continue. We choose to complain to whoever's listening about what we overheard, what we interpreted as something that was offensive. Then there's times when we complained to someone. We may go to the charge nurse or the manager to complain about the person. And those people have problems with communication also. And this is where the snowball effect comes in. The situation that could have been handled if you had just used honest dialogue is now snowballing into a situation that could turn out to be a very serious situation. Yes, confronting someone who is offensive or has offensive language or who has offended you in any way, it can be difficult. It can be intimidating. This is where we find out that, hey, this whole communication thing, maybe it's not as easy as we thought it was. But there are some steps you can take to be good at communicating. There are some steps we can take as a team to learn to communicate better. First, we have to realize that maybe in some situations, maybe you were wrong. Maybe you did misunderstand, misread, take something out of context. The first thing you need to do is consider the situation, consider the source, consider the environment that whatever was offending you happened in. And then if you do consider all these things and it's still something that's really bothering you, then you have to talk to the person about what was said or what was done. This can be very difficult for many people. People see this as confrontation. People do not like confrontation. But you can't look at it that way. You have to look at it as communication. This is what makes a team a good team. We are honest in our dialogue with each other. We speak up when we feel that there is a problem. We don't complain to others about someone. We don't go behind each other's backs to complain. We aren't quick to assume that the person was being malicious in what they said or what they did. We have to remember that we're all individuals with very different backgrounds, with different ways of communicating, with different cultures. We have to remain respectful of each other. Respectful and honest communication is the glue that will hold a good team together. Thank you.